What's wrong with your sleep schedule?
I just don't sleep anymore.
What do you mean you don't sleep? Explain. Why aren't you sleeping?
I don't know.
What are you doing? Are you touching yourself?
I mean, yeah, but that's besides.
It's okay. I understand if you do. I work tomorrow. Fuck.
Why?
Yeah, but you always work on Saturdays. I don't. That's the only difference. That's the disappointing part. You're always working Saturdays. This is different for me. I think. Did I tell you about the guy who works the weekends? He works weekends at nights. A girl works the mornings on the weekends. She requested off. The guy who normally works the weekends, is reminds me of you, but more in a pathetic way. Like he looks similar to you, but he's way more pathetic. Like, okay, don't sell yourself short there, fella. Like, supposedly he couldn't work one day because he was too busy playing. He couldn't cover someone's shift because he was too busy for the release of Kingdom Hearts 3.
Loser.
Yeah, I mean, there's an extent to that where it's, and work wise, it's fine and all, but you know what? Can I do something real quick? Ladies and Benjamin, welcome to, in my opinion, today it's just gonna be me and AJ, and that's all you need to know. Who knows what we're talking about? We'll just do it on the fly. But work ethic is such a big thing for me. I mean, I like to be lazy, but work ethic is such a big deal for me because it's like, yes, I've talked about this with the issue I've had for the past couple of years. I've talked to this with her. I think that, like, even when it came to, because we've had our talks about, like, not if we, or if in general I had children, I wouldn't, there was a person that she was friends with, like, two friends that she grew up with ended up getting together and having a kid. I think I told you a story before, right? He wouldn't stop playing Siege and said that he said to this girl that's, her friend, said that to her, you wanted this, as if he wasn't going to take care of the child as well, or didn't want the child in general. Takes care of the child, but when it comes to playing games, he doesn't stop. And even Bones, I think with Bones and the way he is right now, he doesn't stop what he's doing, or he doesn't just sit there and ignore her. He stops what he's doing and helps out and does whatever needs to be done. The concept of the work ethic of if I had a child, the child would come first before I was playing something. Just like you don't go, yeah, I'm just gonna play when I get home. Don't give a fuck. Courtney can figure out how the kids are getting home from school. Like, you know what I mean? It's yeah. Well, no, yeah, but that's what I mean. It's just like there's such a work ethic I think work ethic is important. It's the problem that I think I have with having a job and also doing this, where it's like I force myself to do this, but then there's my job, and it's the same with back when I worked for Wawa. It was like I do this, but then also put myself through Wawa. Wawa's a little bit worse though, because at any time you could be called in. Like they could just literally call you in whenever. Be like, hey, could you come in tonight? We have some people who aren't showing up, and it's just like, sure, yeah, all right, fine, or go fuck off, whatever. But it's the fact that, like, for me, I felt bad whenever I did shit like that. Like, it was such a working for Wawa is such and I guess people who are listening who aren't from Pennsylvania or in the East Side, is like a 7-Eleven. What would you compare it to?
I guess you could say, yeah, 7-Eleven or,
Because, like, Royal Farms is garbage.
yeah, or Sheets, too. It's like the same thing.
Sheets. Well, I don't know if Sheets is only on the east side, too, I think. But, like, on
Yeah.
different
So I
areas.
don't know if there's, like, anything on the
It's like a convenience
southwest
store.
region.
A convenience store with a deli. And it's very much like a hospital. I always relate it, like, when I used to think about that place, I would think of, because of two things. One, the constant need to be brought over, or constant need to be called in. And two, all the fucking drama would remind me of Scrubs. I tried to make it fun in a way that my life, like, I legit, when I start there, I remember I had the same questioning I had that JD has in the beginning, like maybe first season. Like, who's my mentor? Who's the person who I'm gonna bond with and connect with? And I even had that moment where it's just like, I had that person at one point. I had the Dr. Kelso, and then realized it's like, oh, this guy's a shithead, and he's just gonna be a shithead to me. And then found the Dr. Cox, which wasn't any better, but I had a friendship out of that. And granted, that's McGlynn, not of course the one you know, but the other one. Um, that was like a friendship that I had that I cherished, and um, it's just a weird thing with, like, it felt like that. It felt like, and maybe it's because I don't know if you have noticed with me, AJ, as far as you've known me, is that I'm very much a dreamer. I'm very much a fantasy type person. I think way too much in my head. I mean, you could see from, like, the fucking texts I give you during the weekday, where I'll be like, hey, we should do this, and I'll text you again, and then this, and then this, and then this, and then this. And it's just like, I always feel like I bother people. Like, I always felt like when I texted what's her face, and I'm saying that because I know what her face is, or I know what her name is, but when I texted what's her face, I felt like I was bothering her because she's probably got a dick in her mouth. Anyway, my point is that I don't know. Getting back to that point is work ethic is important to me. Um, I set a goal for something, and that's why, like, the couple days back we planned to redo Aliens, which I'm gonna talk about Aliens in a sec, but we talked about Aliens. We're gonna redo Aliens because we fucked up Aliens, or I fucked up Aliens. Aliens Fire Team, and I just had kind of a breakdown, and I kind of had like a mental break where I was like, you know what, I can't do it. And you know what, I felt like shit to you guys because I made a plan and I like kind of just took it at, like, I was just like, fuck it, and I was like, I completely flaked on it. And that was such a big deal for me because it's like that work ethic is just like, you plan to do something, you should intend on doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's very
You
difficult.
also can't do it too much. You have to have those mental
Yeah,
health days.
exactly. There was a thing with, again, what's her face, where she would always want
Oh,
to.
bitch.
Well, I don't, yeah, I mean, I don't want to be spiteful. I mean, like, I've said plenty of times, like, I've even thought about making videos about it. She was she's a pretty awful person, and it's not like awful in a way of like constantly awful, like not like twirling her hands around and like going wahaha. More of like a doing things for yourself or doing things in a manipulative way. She's just awful. Anyway, never would want. I'd have such a gleaming stare and a issue if I ever had called out of Wawa or the job I had now. It was such an issue for her because it was. I mean, till COVID, that was a huge issue. Now it's not, because now it's not a big deal because it's like, oh, well, you could get COVID if you go to work, blah blah blah. So that was a big deal. She was always constantly doing that, where it's just like, never take a mental health day, never take a day where if you're sick, you can't take off. You have to struggle through it, and that is. I agree with that at points, but when you're like literally can't do your job because of it, I'm like, okay, no, stay home, do your thing, because people take advantage of that shit. People will definitely like be like, oh, I'm pooping a bunch. It's like, okay, well, take Pepto or something and then get back to work or something. Because me, like, my brother makes fun of me and says I have a awful stomach, but like, I know my stomach so well that I can know that can fix something your body so well, you'll be like, oh, it's just this. I'll be fine. So it's like that kind of thing where it's just, But there was something about Fire Team. Oh, Fire Team. I was gonna explain because we had that bit about Ric Flair.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk to you about today, and I really want to see, like, you and me talked about how we want to talk about, or at least I wanted to talk about wrestling, and how I have had a big boom on AEW now, and I'm really enjoying that, and have Kibbles on. Kibbles, I'm really hoping. I've already talked to him before. I said, hey, I was like, I'm really enjoying the AEW. Maybe me, you, and AJ can get on, or, me, AJ can have you on for a podcast and just talk about wrestling. I just started watching a couple days ago, The Dark Side of the Ring. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, Dark Side of the Ring. They're literally like a series of documentaries where it is just like certain things. Like the first episode's Macho Man Randy Savage and Miss Elizabeth. Every episode so far, I'm on the 6th one right now. Every episode so far has just bummed me out. Because most of the time, either someone dies or someone's a complete shithead. And the shithead ones are a lot easier to take, but the people dying, it's just like, oh, wow. Like, right now I'm on the Fabulous Moolah. Piece of shit. She was a piece of shit. Supposedly they canceled her because they named a Battle Royale after her on WWE. And then people started complaining and saying, oh, well, didn't she whore out her trainees and she treated people like shit and was always jealous and always wanted to be the best. And they're like, all right, it's just the women's Battle Royale every year or whatever. So, yeah, piece of shit. So far, from what I can tell, she was a piece of shit. But the reason I brought up Alien Fire Team is that we had a joke, you and me, that was about Ric Flair. It was Ric Flairs, and they were a product line of flares, where I guess whatever you do with a flare, you strike it to light it, and it would go woo. That was the joke. So, like, and then, like, when you have it lit, sometimes they'll just do long-ass speeches he does and crazy speeches of whatever. So, that was just... and I said that we'd do that joke, and then we realized, oh, he's a piece of shit. He's done some awful shit or said some awful shit. Doesn't even compare to what he's done. From the stories I've watched from these episodes... It is way worse. He is, and he doesn't remember it, or he doesn't want to speak on it. He doesn't speak on the allegations that he had. So yeah, there was this episode that I watched where it's titled "The Plane Ride from Hell." A lot of shitty people do a lot of shitty things in that episode. They're on a plane ride, like right after they bought out WCW. And a bunch of people are all on the plane, and they're just, like, getting drunk, and they're doing shitty things. Supposedly, according to... And I think... I don't know if I sent it to you, but according to... you're aware of the wrestler Tommy Dreamer?
I'm aware of him, yes.
Yeah. He said that Ric Flair likes to walk around in his robes, naked. And, no, that's not the best part. And a helicopter dick his dick around.
Helicopter dick.
Yeah, exactly. And according to Tommy Dreamer, he's well endowed.
Of course.
Just flopping his meat around. And yeah, just doing that. The worst part is that he made one of the flight attendants, who is one of the stories that you listen to. She's the one who's reflecting on this story. They have like certain people, like they have Scott Hall. They have Jim Ross. Scott Hall was one of the problems because they found out that, like, oh, he really does have a drinking problem, and that's why he like left for a bit and then came back, and now he's like all good. And so they talked to him. They talked to JR. JR seemed to be like JR always. Always in the story. There's never anything I've ever heard of JR that's bad. which is a shame because me and my old friend Brandon used to make fun of him because of his, which I found out cerebral palsy in the side of his face. That's why his face looks like he had a stroke. Didn't know that. Okay, that's just uncalled for. But so great dude. From what I can tell, JR is just like such a
genuine nice guy.
Yeah, a genuinely nice guy. Like he was the one who told, like it's just like this whole story, like the Goldust getting on the PA system and singing to his old wife Terry. Do you remember Terry? I forget what her name was, but she was Goldust's manager at one point. Turns out it was his ex-wife as well. And he tried to sing to her to win her back or some shit like that. I don't know. But anyway, supposedly Brock Lesnar's a piece of shit. Supposedly he whipped his dick out in front of Terry. And then Goldust told her to not do anything about it. It's just fucked up. Because you know how nothing good comes from like old stories? You know how, like, when you're, like...
Always a little bit either racist or...
yeah, or just fucked up. Yeah, or just completely fucked up and no one does anything about it. It's all of that shit. Like, it's like the concept of, like, when you hear a story in these documentary things, you go, oh, right, because there's no cell phones or, like, any kind of proof.
Yeah.
So, it's just...
Well, it's like I saw a meme the other day, and it's like, you know, boomers, like, oh, no one can take a compliment anymore. It's like the boomer's compliment is, "Hey, sugar tits, if I was 30 years younger, I'd impregnate you right now on this Arby's countertop."
Yeah, it's like that. It's like that. It's just weird. I mean, we'll talk about it more with Kibbles because I feel like that's. But yeah, supposedly, like I'm not surprised by Brock Lesnar. I'm like, yeah, I could see Brock Lesnar just being like, look how fucking big I am. Who's gonna fuck with me? They fired a bunch of people because of the incident. So they fired. The best part is, and this is the part that really is like, oh fuck you, or like Jim Ross is like Batman, and he like let Joker get away on purpose. Where they say how Kurt Hennig, Mr. Perfect Kurt Hennig, was a jokester. Because of the jokes that he did, he put shaving cream on his hand and smacked it on Brock Lesnar, and Brock Lesnar chased him around the plane and dived him, like, pressed him up against the emergency door, and something went off to the point where, like, the thing went off with, like, don't touch the door, like, that kind of thing. Like, a light went off, and they're like, oh, shit, get away from that door. But he, like Brock Lesnar's a big dude. And supposedly they fired Kurt Hennig. They fired Scott Hall because of the fact that he still needs to situate his shit. Who else did they fire? I think they fired... Oh, no, they suspended Goldust or maybe fined him. I forget. But then they go... And then the guys behind the camera, they go, so what happened to Ric Flair? He goes, I guess he's just a made man. And I'm like, are you fucking serious? Like, that's what I mean by, like, Jim Ross. Like, JR seems like he let Joker get away. Like, he seemed so disappointed that he's just like, there was nothing I could have done, but he should have paid for what he did. Because he made the flight attendant touch his dick. Like, grabbed her hand and put it on, like, in a casual, like, James Bond creepy kind of way. Like, Sean Connery-esque, like, yeah, like, three no's means yes. Like, that kind of shit. Like, it wasn't like a sexual predator kind of thing. It was just like a... And even the flight attendant was like, yeah, I didn't think he was going to, like, rape me or sexually assault me. She's just like, it was just very inappropriate for what he did. But it's still, like, fucked up. And she wasn't, like, a wrestling fan. She wasn't like, oh, you know, I didn't want to touch Ric Flair's penis. But, I mean, it's Ric Flair. It's just, like... It's just... Yeah, it's just so fucked up. Like, the concept of that to be like, yeah, this is okay. The fact that he got away with it, I'm like, yeah, I'm glad they kind of fucking distanced himself from Ric Flair, because he's kind of a dick. A big old penis is what he is.
He is one and has one.
Yeah, supposedly by Tommy Dreamer. That was another person I talked to. Oh, and also someone from ECW. I forget who else. Rob Van Dam. They talked to as well. Yeah, the big old stoner. Supposedly he's become an icon for stoners all around the world.
Okay, he's allowed.
Yeah. Um. So yeah.
At least he's not a raper.
Yeah. At least he's not a raper. He's not a big old raper. He wouldn't. He would never rape anybody. He's not a raper. He doesn't know.
Frog splash him on the bed.
He doesn't know where he is half the time. Yeah. So that's been pretty cool. I enjoyed that so far. The second episode is because the first episode is Macho Man and Elizabeth, which is fucking sad. Second one is the Montreal Screwjob.
Yeah.
Which that's the only, I think so far, the only documentary that they have going in where they talk to the actual person.
Hello?
Hello? Can you hear me?
Testing.
I can still hear you. What did you do? What did you do, mate? What did you do, mate? Mate, what did you do? What did you do, mate?
I didn't do nothing.
What happened?
Oh, he just dropped out.
Okay, that's normal. With my connection, with my internet connection. Alright, I'm gonna charge my headset while we're talking. So yeah, the second one was really interesting because it was they actually talked to Bret Hart. And it like opens up so many conspiracies of like they thought that everyone was in on it. Even Bret Hart. Just to like get, I don't know, just kind of like ruin the illusion of being a wrestler, I guess. I don't know. What's up with you? What do you want to talk about tonight?
We could talk about the finale of What If.
Oh yeah, and I was gonna say I thought you were gonna say Squid Game, but that's a good one too.
Or we could go to that too, yeah.
Well, What If was, I'm gonna be honest, yesterday I watched it, and there's a reason why I went to bed early, because I was falling asleep watching it. Did not.
It was very, I'd say very disappointing, but I'm like, really, like, this is it?
Yeah, it was. I'm just being such a big voiceover guy. I'm getting so disappointed whenever they have like these mimic people. Like, and I've said Lake Bell does a great Scarlett Johansson, but it's still the fact of like I can tell it's Lake Bell and not Scarlett Johansson.
Well, it's the same thing with like with Iron Man. Like the guy's like trying to sound like Robert Downey Jr., but he's just like, I'm Tony Stark.
Sometimes he sounds like a little whiny version of him. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Like even when they reshowed him doing the snap, they didn't have Robert Downey Jr. They had that dude do it.
Yeah.
I was like, that just sounds just terrible.
And that's I was reading an article that was like the show's biggest strength is its voice artists, and its biggest weakness is also its voice artists, because like it's great that they have the original actors playing their characters, but then just the, like you said, the mimics trying to impersonate the voices are just awful.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's very weird. It's a very weird concept, because it's just like the people who are there don't really like for example, you have Jeremy Renner, you have Mark Ruffalo, and you have Chris Hemsworth, but they're like barely in certain episodes. Like there's one episode for Thor, one episode for like Mark Ruffalo, yeah, and then like 2 episodes for Jeremy Renner, and then one of them he dies. So I'm like, what the? Next, isn't it? He died in the other one too. He sacrificed himself in the Ultron one too. It's just like, it's frustrating, because it's like I know who's who, and I can tell who's doing what voice. Like even what's his face from Walking Dead, he did a
Ross
good.
Marquand.
What?
Ross Marquand.
Is that how you say his name?
I think.
He was Aaron, right?
Yeah.
He and I mean I didn't watch the show back when he was on, but like he's very good at doing like voices, but like his fucking James Spader is pretty poop. It's just like
Yeah,
his version of it.
he does a good Red Skull.
He does a great like dude. He did that amazingly for Endgame.
Yeah,
But like even then you can hear it where he can sound like himself more than, but like it sounds more like fuck, what's the guy's name?
Hugo Weaving.
Yeah, Hugo Weaving. He sounds like an elf's name. Um, the just I don't know, and I don't care for Killmonger. Like the whole Killmonger thing is just like
Yeah, that was stupid.
I wish they gave. I honestly wish they gave Michael B. Jordan a better character to play. Like even from
Yeah.
the beginning, from Black Panther 1, like I wish they gave him a more interesting villain to play as, because Killmonger just seems like a piece of shit. It doesn't seem
Yeah,
like
he's just an asshole.
yeah, it's just it never. Maybe they didn't drive home the fact in Black Panther 1 where they didn't drive home the fact that like it's just so this weird thing where like he's like, I want to be in my home, I want to be in my home, I want to be in my home, I'll kill whoever, I'll kill my girlfriend, I'll kill the guy who got me there, I'll kill everybody, and then at the end it's just like, oh, I don't like it, being black is different. Like it's just like, how the fuck do you get from there to there? Like, we know you're black. That was no one was. First off, you were trying to kill, other black people to take what was yours. I don't know how you fucking put that in there to be like somehow white people are still the problem, even though you were trying to kill so many Wakandians. What's the term? Wakandanites.
Condoites.
Sure. But like it's just such a weird. I don't know. He was a piece of shit. He was a piece of shit, and he didn't really have any kind of arc. Like they didn't
Yeah.
have a moment where they talked about his dad. It just was like he's like, I'm taking what's mine.
Yeah, he was just more of an asshole that just kept getting lucky than anything else.
He was like that spoiled cousin that comes over and takes all your toys and goes, I'm gonna play with these. Or that's not how I play with them. You're playing with them wrong.
Sound
Like that
you know
kind of
from
shit.
Experience.
I mean, I never really had. Actually, I did. It was just very uneventful. It didn't feel like anything too important, and I mean, I felt like the watcher should know what group would work against Ultron. Like, I don't think he should have ever. I mean, I know it takes away from the character or to have like some kind of feeling of peril, but like, I don't
He should
think
have known that at one point he was going to get that strong and
Yeah.
leave the universe.
Well, yeah, that, and he should have known that the people that he picked were going to be like enough to defeat the Ultron. Like at one point, I felt like he should have been like, "Oh, I still have that dark Doctor Strange. Oh, we're gonna be fine," and then just be like, "Here, train these guys, and then whoop that guy's ass, and we should be good." And that was it. Like he knew, he was like, "All right, I'm gonna sit back and just be cool."
And then there was that part with like the zombies too, where they felt like they had to do that just because there was a zombies episode.
Yeah.
They
Yeah, it
felt
really
like popped
just
them in and nothing happened.
culminated into one whole episode of like.
Callbacks.
Yeah, exactly. And it was like, yeah, it was weird. Was there any episode that wasn't referenced in that finale? There's one, two. I think they were all referenced in some way, shape, or
They
form.
did Captain Carter.
Mm-hmm.
But it T'Challa, Star Lord.
Yeah.
Then it was zombies, or
I can bring it up. Probably wanted to. Hold on. I will look it up. And then I'll be able to edit it out with TV magic.
the power of TV.
The power of TV. So the episodes go as this. Yeah, I mean, I think every episode was referenced. What if Captain Carter was first Avenger, T'Challa, Star-Lord, Earth's Mightiest Heroes, which was the Michael Douglas bad guy. That was referenced
'cause
at the
that's
end.
Yeah, that's where he sent Black Widow.
Yeah, and then Doctor Strange, zombies, Killmonger, Thor, and then Ultron 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, I mean, it's, whatever. Which, it makes me so confused, too, because it's like, they're like, don't worry, you'll go back to where you were before this all happened. But they're like, not Killmonger, though. We killed that bitch. Or we took that bitch into fucking...
He's just gonna sit in this pocket universe forever.
Yeah, being watched by Doctor Strange. There was
and then like, what is Doctor Strange doing? He's literally just sitting there for the rest of the time, fucking watching this pocket universe.
His universe is gone. He's the Watcher's Watcher, or the Watcher's mentor, the Watcher of the Watcher's Watcher.
Who watches the Watcher?
Yeah, exactly. It's like what was it? Original Sin. The comic book where they kill the Watcher. I think it turns out to be Punisher. I don't remember. Anyway, sorry I spoiled it for you. So, yeah, that was not bad. I would say more that the separate episodes were better than the big finale thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Because it's like you never knew where they were going with it, and it was just, just easy and simple. It almost starting to feel like a kind of like a Doctor Who concept where they're like doing all these things, and then all of a sudden they go, oh, by the way, it's about his life, or it revolves around what his life is about or whatever, and it's just like, I don't want this. Like, I don't want to know about Mulder and Scully. I don't want to know about fucking Dean and Sam Winchester. I just want them to fucking solve murders. That's all I want. I just want them to solve murders. It's fucking stupid. Anyway. What else? What else you got? We saw Venom. We never talked about Shang-Chi. God damn it, are you serious? Are you gone again? God damn it. Son of a bitch. Oh my goodness. Oh my damn. This is my jam. Hello? Hello?
There.
Jesus Christ. Can't even fucking talk for an hour without fucking getting knocked out of the fucking call. What were we talking about?
I think we're wrapping up on What If.
Yeah, What If has been pretty great for the most part. It's not too bad. It's a nice little, its own thing. I don't like the concept that it's just like a overarching story. I don't want, like I said, I don't want to hear about fucking the fucking doctor or fucking Mulder and Scully. I just said, it's not something I want to give a shit about. That's it. I just don't give a shit. I don't give a shit about it, Anyway, sorry. What else?
We both did finish Squid Game.
Yeah, Squid Game. I was gonna say we also had what was that movie we watched? Oh, it was the Venom 2.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah,
maybe you've heard of it.
Maybe, yeah. It's a little, it's a little bit indie show.
Like like Kevin Smith's movies.
Yeah. So yeah, it's very well. Squid Game. I guess I'll talk about Squid Game. Squid Game. Okay, so this is the problem I have, and this is gonna happen, of course. I hate it now. It's gotten so when it's on Jimmy Fallon, That's when I'm like, okay, it's gone too far. When I see YouTube, this is the fucking thing I hate, and this is why I'm like a conformist. This is the part where it gets me annoyed. When people make videos that are called "If Black People Were in Squid Game," or "What to Do in Squid Game," or "I Play Squid Game," just stupid shit that tries to get people to watch because they're like, well, I like Squid Game, so why not? Squid
Did you
Game.
know that there's a mobile game now?
What, where you can bet money and then you get sent to an island and probably get killed?
Yeah, you just play the games.
We should do that. We should just do that. We should just kill off a lot of people who have debts. Because then it'd be easier to say, hey, they lost the game, and that's it. And then they're done. Then they're dead, and we don't have to worry about it anymore.
You know, I think I had an idea like that some time ago, around the 1940s.
Yeah? Who was this? This FDR?
Yeah, it was FDR. Maybe
Okay.
Churchill.
It was FDR. It's called The Draft. Anyway. Yeah. Yeah, it's not bad. It's just not something, like, it's not amazing. Like, I could care less if they came, like, Stranger Things I enjoy because I like the people in it and I like the situations. That one doesn't bother me as much because I get why people would like it so much. But my thing is like I get it, but I don't think it's that big. Like, I don't think it's that big of a deal. Like, the four people were on, 4 of the actors were on Jimmy Fallon, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And, like, most of them are having a language barrier problem. Like I said, I was like 67, number 67. She had no problem at all. She didn't go into Korean at all. She didn't start speaking Korean. She was just straight up, like not great, but like if I had a percentage of how well her English was, I would give it like maybe like a 60 or 70%. Like, she still had like kind of an issue with some things, but she was pretty good at, like, you know, elaborating on stuff.
I was reading that that was her first movie role. Apparently, she's like a model.
Well, that
That's
would make
the first
sense.
like acting she's ever done.
That would make sense. Like I said, with the Resident Evil thing, that one chick was a model before she became the bad guy for Ant-Man and Wasp. Now she's in a bunch of shit. Yeah, I get very upset with things. I'm getting upset now because I looked up Scrubs, and then I found out that Bill Lawrence, who made Scrubs, he also helped make Ted Lasso, which I'm sure is a good show. But it turns out he was a producer on the show. Nope, he created it as well. Rush Hour, the TV show. Didn't know we needed that. Yeah. And it's very odd. It has, Paige Kennedy. Cool. I don't know if you know Paige Kennedy, AJ, but he is a Vine star who got famous off the N-word. He is a black man, but he got famous off the N-word, where his catchphrase was, really? And there it is. That was his thing. He would have situations where he'd have someone say it, and it'd be like, that would be the joke. Because people are dumb, and they have a short attention span, and don't know much about comedy. But anyway, yeah, it's just, it's an alright show. Going back to, Squid Game. It's not bad. I enjoyed everybody. I felt a lot of people, were kind of a dick. Like, I wasn't even too mad at number 1, because I wasn't too upset with him. I was like, oh, this is a nice twist, but I'm not, like, upset with what he did. Maybe because you knew him throughout the whole story, that it's just like, okay, it's not too bad. Yeah, I don't know. A lot of it wasn't bad. It just, I also didn't like the fact that it was a lot of just, like, the first game was great.
Yeah.
And then the other games were like, just, it was almost like they had these, it's almost like the people who created it were like, oh my god, this would be so cool if we did red light, green light, and if people move, then we kill them, and then if they don't, they pay off the debts, blah blah blah. And then
Cool.
they
What
went
else can we do?
and they're like, I don't know, something with marbles or something. I don't fucking know. Tug of war sounds fun. Like just shit where they're just like, okay, yeah, I don't know what we're gonna do for the rest of the games. Oh, let's do that one game where kids push each other until they get to a point.
Yeah.
And it'll just
made
be
up game that no one's ever heard
yeah,
of before.
right. And that's the thing too.
That's like red light, green light, right? Like
Yeah, it's a little bit like or like honeycomb. Like that was fucking stupid too. And it wasn't like in a cool way. Like it wasn't like the building was on fire and they would burn alive if they didn't lick the shape out of its place. It was just like if you didn't complete it in the time or cracked it, a guy just comes up and shoots you in the head. Like it's just stupid. Like I really wanted some kind of like mystical aspect to it, I guess. I don't know, but it was really not that type of show. It was more of like just a crime show, and then you know the ending was really weird too.
well, and then like, are they gonna pay off the whole like detective aspect too, or was that just
yeah, what the fuck was that about?
And that's it, yeah.
And they just shot him, and that was it.
He shot him in the shoulder, which he could have survived.
Well, I'm sure he did.
He fell in the water, which he could have survived. Like, but at the end, it's been a year later, so.
Yeah.
Did he make it back, or is he just dead? Because that was just a waste of time then.
Yeah, and then the turns out the game was it the front man. That guy is like a big actor in general. Like he's not like a just Korean. Like he was in the G.I. Joe movies as Storm, whatever the fuck. He was in a couple shit, and I'm like, once he took off his mask, I'm like, I know that guy from something. I couldn't think of what it was. But he's been in a bunch of shit. Like, I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. He's like an actor. He's like an actor.
He's an actor?
Like he's like an actor. I said it like actor, like kind of like being kind of presumptuous to be like, oh, only real actors are from America. But you're not a real actor until you do until you do a movie in the U.S. But and that's what I'm saying. It's a decent show. It's not great. Like it's not like Stranger Things. They
did need to trim the fat with the detective stuff. The whole second episode could have been a lot shorter.
Yeah.
I feel like if they would have like streamlined it a little bit more and made it like quicker, it would have been a lot better.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that. I do, but I have to say I do like the fact that in the first episode they vote out, and in the second episode it's kind of like they realize, oh, we want to go back, like that kind of thing. Like I like that kind of.
And then too, with the old man being the last vote, why did he vote to leave? Was it because he wanted the people to actually come back and like mean it, or he didn't want to do it? Like I feel like they should have explained that too.
Yeah, that's really weird too, actually, because it's just I don't know, it's kind of strange. But like yeah, it's just I don't know. And I liked number one throughout the whole movie or the whole show. Number one was great. Like it's just like, you know, there was very something heartwarming about the two of them, and then it was like it wasn't really so much upset because, and you know what it took away from it, I think, was the fact that just because he tricked him and like was the one constructing it, wasn't changing the fact that he did have a tumor still stuck in his head.
Yeah, and that's why he did it, because he just wanted to feel alive again before he died.
Yeah, and that was like a, you know, I don't know, kind of like wasn't a big deal for me. It wasn't that big of a deal to be like, oh, he tricked everybody. I'm like, yeah, I don't really care. He's still dying.
Yeah.
Like,
and then yeah, too, like when you go back and watch it and you see all the thing, like him like smiling throughout all the games, and how he was like anticipating the red light, green light. Like, he stopped like before.
People were saying theories.
Turned around.
People were saying theories that the robot was designated not to shoot him, even when, like, because there was times he moved.
Yeah, or he's not like showing up on like the targeting thing. Like
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
really see that, but
He
I
was,
did
but
see.
like they show a still of it, and it does look like he's kind of dimmer green than everyone else.
Yeah,
Or like there's
I
an
did.
area of him where they couldn't see, or the computer ignored him.
Yeah, I did see a theory that they think they might have figured out how the workers are recruited by when they play that game at the beginning, depending on what color paper or whatever you choose. Since he chose blue, he'd be the a player, but if he chose red, they'd hire you to be a worker.
That would make
So that,
sense.
yeah, it makes sense with like the suits.
But that's the thing. Like it's always like it's like talking to Bones about like a video game where it's just like it's all fucking speculation.
Yeah,
You're not like Bones does that a lot, and I don't have anything against Bones. It's just the fact that like it happens a lot where like he'll
all
sit there and
the
go,
Dead by Daylight theories.
well, yeah, that in like Marvel movies he'll do it too. He'll be like, oh, well, they said that he's gonna be like he's like when you threw out the fact that oh it might be Venom in the and you're just like no it's definitely Lizard because they cut out and I'm like, but again, how are you getting this information?
Yeah,
It's like the other day I think I texted you guys about the fact that um, Tom Savini created the Fiend mask for wrestling.
yeah,
And that thing, like, it makes sense now. Like, when you see it, I'm like, okay, yeah, that seems like something that, like, it was legitimately a like, professionally designed mask. Um, but then I'm like, I'm waiting for it. I'm like, Bones is going to be like, yeah, I already knew this. Like, I know he was going to do this. And that's why I was like, I had the Conan O'Brien, like, good for you, clapping pathetically, kind of, like, because he does that a lot. And it's just like, it's not a problem. It's just like it's kind of predictable at this point. You're like, why bother telling him anything at all? He seems like he knows everything
knows
to begin
everything.
with.
Did you know
It's
that
just
Tom
very
Savini
annoying.
helped design Corey Taylor's mask for Slipknot?
I did not know that.
Yeah,
I'm not a big fan of Corey Taylor.
he's okay. He, he,
Yeah,
he
it
doesn't
seems
like
alright.
Trump, so that he's alright in my book.
Okay. I mean, I don't mind Trump either now that he's gone. It's the fact that he was representing America. That's what I had an issue with, and he was
I
just
mean,
talking shit on everybody.
if you think about America, he is the perfect representation for fucking half the population.
Well, that's what the problem. He amplified that problem to a degree of making it so much more worse. And that's the real issue I had. I'm like, we're getting to the point where like we are becoming more and more of the people around are the stereotype of an American. We're just like, I shoot first and ask questions later. And I don't like to be don't tread on me, like that kind of shit. It's just like when I see don't tread on me, I always like have this stigma about it where it's just like, ugh. Like I get what you're trying to say, but it just seems very redneck or country or
Or
like
like the snake in the bondage stuff. It says "Step on me, daddy."
I think I've seen that before. Um that's fucking stupid. So yeah. Yeah, Squid Game. It's a fun show, like I said. It's not I wouldn't say it's like people are getting really overhyped about it. I'm like, there's nothing really
Yeah,
too amazing about it. I like the main character. He's the problem I had throughout the show was that he always looked like he's like shit his pants or something. Like he just felt he looked so confused sometimes. He was like,
but he was
uh,
handling it very well.
uh, uh.
I did just shit myself.
Yeah, he's handling it super well. Um, he just looked dumb all the time. Like he was trying to catch flies or some shit. Like he just looked stupid. But like
It is such like a weird concept and style of show to take off the way that it's taking off.
yeah,
Like
right?
like people that like you'd figure that this would be like a manga or an anime that they
Yeah.
adapted into a live action show, the way they do everything, but it's not. And then you see like all these people that would never watch an anime, like, oh my god, I love Squid Game, it's so awesome.
And it's not even that good. Like the concept is so stupid. It's such a it's like a less fun Saw. Like I think Saw has more of potential because it's like it's gory and has you try to make up for your, past.
Yeah, it has like a lesson behind it, other than just
Yeah.
like, oh, you need money and you didn't win this game.
Yeah,
So I
dude,
gotta get
everyone in that show is a shithead because you know why? They're all in it for the money. Like no one's there to be like, I want to help. I want to help the poor, or I just felt like having a good challenge.
Well, 67
Everyone,
was trying to get her mom across the border.
yeah, but she was a bit of a shithead too. She was doing it the wrong way.
She was a bitch.
Yeah, she was a bit of a bitch. Um, I didn't mind her. I didn't mind a lot of the characters. I felt like Ali got a very very shitty deal, and
Did
and
you
that was another
see
thing.
the it was like the foreshadowing of how the characters die,
No.
where um 67 had a knife to that guy's throat in the office, and she ended up getting stabbed in the neck. Ali stole money from his boss and ran away, and what's his face stole the marbles from him. Uh, what else was it? But what's his name? His friend. He was sitting in a bathtub in a suit, drinking a beer, trying to like kill himself, and he ended up killing himself in the show. It was
Oh
like,
shit. That actually is actually pretty cool.
yeah.
That's a pretty cool concept. I
And
didn't even realize it.
yeah, and what the main character, he said like, "I swear on my mom's life" or something, and then when he came back, she was dead.
Oh, that's upsetting. That was the weird part where like I was working on not to flex on the channel, but I'm working on customs and I kind of lost that part. And like all of a sudden I look back over and his hair's red. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? First he was a bum and now his hair's red? Like what the fuck is happening? I don't know. Supposedly it's in Korea, according to this guy on YouTube. In Korea, changing the color red means new health or new life, and I'm like, fuck off.
Well, then
I
like
just
people are
hate
like,
people.
"Oh, well, his hair's red now, so he's gonna go back to the Squid Game as a soldier or something and try
They're
to take
gonna
him down from
notice
the
him
inside."
right fucking away. He's the only fucker with red hair. I don't know. I felt like it was very. It was very. I did forget that Ali was a piece of shit too. Everyone was a piece of shit who needed money.
Ollie
They
wasn't a
did.
piece of shit. That guy did
He,
owe him money.
he was
That
a,
guy was a piece of shit.
but he was a pretty piece of. They all were like they were all in it for money. Like they would be like they would have conversations. Where like, oh, what are you here for? They're like, money. We're all here for money. Why the fuck do you think I'm here? It's that piggy bank up at the top of the fucking ceiling. You dumb shit. I might kill you in your sleep tonight.
And most of them did.
And there's not a fucking thing you can do about it. There was a thing that people were saying how, when they did the table dinner, how everything on the wall was every game, so they didn't have to guess. They could have just
They were there throughout the whole season. It was just covered up by the beds. But
yeah. Well, that's
as
what I'm
it
saying.
goes on,
But
yeah.
if they would have just saw the walls, they would have noticed what games to play. But there's the fact that they weren't guessing. It's kind of like a trick too with number one how tug of war he got and people were like, oh, because he's old, so he knows how to play tug of war. It wasn't like
Yeah.
oh, because he decided to pick
He's
this
an
game.
insider, yeah.
I don't know. And the weird thing about the detective trying to get in and almost having to suck that dude's dick or whatever. That part was strange too. I just find it so weird.
Again, it's like
so weird.
almost said hentai. It's like an anime.
Yeah, and like that's what I'm saying. Like the front man shooting his brother, and I'm like, okay, but like, how does he know the protocol for his brother being a cop? Like, you ever think like, oh, the detective was like, yeah, brother. Also, we're also supposed to have one empty bullet in the no bullet in one of the chambers, and one of them be a blank. And then the rest can be normal. But like, there's no conversation where you go, oh, so brother, what do you keep in your gun? Do you have to keep your gun loaded all the time? It's just such a weird.
Anybody have any launch codes?
Yeah. Anybody have any launch codes? And then he kills him, and he's like, "Oh, this is but you Dutch, you're all right." So do your and I remember the joke he says. He goes, "So do all your ovens just smell like farts?" This is the one joke he says to them. Yeah, I don't know. It's such a weird show. I think it gets way too much credit for what it is.
Yeah.
It's
Not
really
not that it doesn't deserve
Yeah,
credit,
it's
but
not
it's
bad. It's just
yeah.
people get really overhyped about it.
It's
It's
like
just
with like the Bo Burnham stand up where like the one thing that's taking off is like the fucking Jeffrey Bezos song, which is like a minute and a half of just fucking him being weird, but that's like the thing that everyone remembers from it.
I haven't even watched it yet.
It is good.
I'm afraid it might put me in a mood that I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, it does kind of like take you by surprise and then like kind of put you in a funk afterwards.
Yeah,
First
because
time you
he's
watch
that type
it.
of person who's like, I have fun, I am funny, now I'm serious. Like I'm like, I can't do that. I can't fucking bounce up and down. Bo has always been that way. He's always been that way with his stand up where it's just like, here are jokes, look at anxiety problems. It's like, dude, just stick with one
Well,
thing.
and like he says it too that like after his last um tour, he was getting panic attacks on stage, so he took 5 years off
Uh-huh.
and like got himself together, and he was ready to go back on tour, and then COVID happened.
Wow. It's kind of fucked. Um Trying to think of what else. Venom's not bad. It's pretty good.
It was good. I A lot of people are complaining that it was short. I kind of liked it better that it was short. It kind of just kept everything moving.
Well, you knew my problem. I said it right at the beginning when we were watching it, which was the trying to make Carnage relatable.
Yeah.
That was the one issue I had with the movie, and it was because, like, the whole concept of Carnage is that he's just a serial killer. I don't know why you'd have Tia Dalma fucking yelling at people and shit. But like, that's literally the like, that was the issue I had, and that was also the MacGuffin that would be like, this is how the gang is gonna win. Like this is how Eddie and Venom are gonna win the fight because of the girl being able to do that. It fucks with Carnage, and he's like, I'm gonna kill this bitch, and then of course Cassidy's like, no, don't kill her, don't kill her, don't kill her. She's my wife. Don't you dare kill her, like that kind of shit. Like,
And then Tissue's like, we have to stop Carnage. And Venom's like, yeah, go fuck yourself, bitch, and just fucking pushes her down the
yeah,
fucking
I didn't get
people.
that part either. Like, why the fuck did he? He goes, or we could. He's like, we could get a big fire, or a loud noise, and then you're like, oh, they're gonna team up, and then he just pushes her, and he just pushes her down the thing. It's just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and she goes the same way Ernesto de la Cruz did.
I love that movie, and I couldn't remember how he died. I was like, oh right, you got a bell dropped on him.
Twice.
That's a family-friendly reference. So yeah, the
Hashtag Disney. Hashtag.
hashtag remember.
Coco.
I was gonna say hashtag remember me. Um, God, that's such a good movie. Anyway, yeah, it was really weird the fact that they had that, and I had such vibes of like Gwen Stacy, Amazing Spider-Man, like they were gonna kill off Anne. I keep going to Michelle Williams, and I'm like, no, that's the actress. I kept feeling like when he was about to like he was trying not to let go, I felt like they were going to kill her off, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh no, he'll just get all the way down the bottom and be fine. I was like, oh, okay. That was fucking weird, by the way. But the Dan thing made sense. Like it just, I liked the Dan and Ann thing. That was cool. Like the concept that they were still around, or they were still, like the concept where he says like, oh, those two need therapy. I was like, that's funny. Or like the fact that Venom gave Dan shit still. That was funny too. because it's like that concept. Why are you sending me gifts of Ernesto de la Cruz? Listen, you piece of shit. I'm talking to you. My point is that I liked the Dan and Venom thing.
Yeah.
Where like he kept being a shithead to Dan for no reason at all. That was funny. Like anything, like I try not to make it seem like Venom is supposed to be funny, but like there's parts where they really work at like making him just silly. Like I don't know. It's just like
Well, that's like my problem with Thor was that in the first two movies he's like, royal, he acts like a prince and he's serious, and then in Ragnarok they just turn him into a goofball.
do
I'm
you
like,
not do you not like Ragnarok?
I like it, but I don't like his like tonal shift. Like if he had been like that the whole time,
See,
it would have made sense.
I had people about gonna work at Wawa. I had people who were pissed off that it wasn't World War Hulk, and I'm like, who the fuck cares? They're doing a Thor movie. I said Taika Waititi is doing Thor. I don't give a fuck what it is. So they could do that another fucking time. And the fact that comic books are meant to, there's so many times they retcon stuff. Just fucking. It's like, remember back when Kane had a voice box thingy that he had to talk because his burns were so severe? And then when he got his mask taken off, they're like, oh no, he had scars emotionally. Not physical scars.
Yeah.
It was emotional and mental scars, which is fucking stupid, but anyway. Yeah, I don't know, man. It was a good movie. I love Venom regardless, so it doesn't really matter. Like, I think the biggest thing for me that I really enjoyed this time around was the fact that they had, I fucking hate you and your gifts. These are not gonna be seen. No one's gonna see these.
It's just for us. You could put them in the video.
I might just pull back and just show you the gifts. Anyway, the concept that this time the two symbiotes were red and black and you could tell what the fuck was going on, because with Riot you couldn't see who was who. There was times I had no idea what the fuck was going on, and I'm like, what is happening? Kind of like the gif right now of Undertaker and Kane doing whatever they're doing.
And then with the the detective, I guess they're setting up for.
You mean not Donnie Wahlberg?
Yeah, not Donnie Wahlberg.
He was not Donnie Wahlberg.
I guess they're setting up for him to be Toxin.
Is that what they're doing?
I guess whoever Carnage's offspring is.
Toxin? I don't know much about. I'm not positive on that. But I'm sure that's the case.
Yeah.
That is Donnie Wahlberg.
Yeah, that's Donnie Wahlberg.
That's Donnie Wahlberg. The guy from Venom 2 was not Donnie Wahlberg.
Not Donnie Wahlberg.
That's exactly what I called him. Not Donnie Wahlberg.
Who else was in it that was a not something?
Shit. There was not Donnie Wahlberg. And I remember, I can't fucking remember now.
Was it his girlfriend? Wasn't she not something?
Whose girlfriend?
Eddie Brock's girlfriend.
Anne?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I forget. Oh no, it was not was it not Meryl Streep? Or whoever the doctor was?
Yeah, it was someone like I said not Helen Mirren.
That's it, yeah.
I said, because I was like, alright, not Donnie Wahlberg and not Helen Mirren. She got strangled. It's just so weird. Like, the only weird part about the Carnage thing was, like, he called him father, and I'm like, that's kind of strange. I don't think they did that in the cartoon or the comic books, where they're like, yes, he is my father. just a weird concept. But I mean, I guess the concept of the fact that they had to create him out of the blood and not.
From what I was reading, apparently Toxin is the like 1,000th member of the bloodline or whatever. So he's supposed to be like the most powerful one.
That's weird. I mean, I like Venom. That's about it. That's just I like Venom and Agent Venom, and that's about it. That's about as far as it goes. And if they bring up Null would be a cool thing, but I don't think they'll ever get to Null.
Probably not. That's like a deep cut.
That's deep, and it just happened like a couple years ago. So, although 2011 was when Miles Morales, and look at him. Everybody fucking loves that guy.
Allegedly. Love him at first.
Allegedly.
Spider-Man can't be Puerto Rican and black.
Yeah, I saw that the other day. There was a comic book that was like Marvel Voices, and I'm like, Marvel Voices? What is this? All gay people? I'm like, why is Miles Morales? But they were doing a Hispanic thing because I saw America Chavez, and I'm like, oh, they're doing all gay people. I'm like, oh wait, no, hold on, Miles Morales is on there, and so is Kamala Khan, and I'm like, oh, they're saying just people who are of a certain race. But yeah, when are we gonna have White Day? No?
Yeah, not see that.
I mean, we have Asian Pacific Islander Day. We have or month. We have Black History Month.
We have Columbus Day.
I don't think that's a good. I'm not a Christopher Columbus. I'm a person.
You're not a white.
I'm a white, but I'm not a white who, did awful things. Anyway, what else were we? I was gonna bring up something, and now I can't think of it. Botchamania. I'm sorry if I keep going on this wrestling thing. Botchamania is just fun. You know why? Because at the end of every episode, what are you fucking sending me? At the end of every episode, they do memes, and I fucking love those. Because you know what? Half the time, they're Simpsons related. It's almost like Simpsons is perfect for everything.
They did predict everything that ever happened, so...
There's one of Finn Balor, where Finn Balor falls, or jumped out of the ring with Roman Reigns, and he's, like, flopping like a fish. And they did a meme of... And I sent it to you, whereas, Jesus Christ, AJ, would you stop it? I sent you the meme of it where it was like, and now we go to a man who's been hiccuping for 45 years, and then it's him, when he flops on the floor, he hiccups and goes, kill me. And it's just a part from Simpsons. It's just so good. I love Botchamania. Botchamania is so fucking great. And you don't even have to watch wrestling to be like, I get that joke. God damn it, AJ. I hate you and your fucking gifts. Anyway. Tomorrow we play Battlefield. Recording a lot of stuff. We're working on Survive. I'm working on Survive. You're not doing anything besides playing it with me.
Yes, I'm just there for the enjoyment.
I'm getting really good with the bow. First video is already out. If you guys want to watch it, it's on my channel. It's on this channel you're watching on now. I got an email today about how I can regain...
Penis bigger.
No, I can regain the control of my Waffletown podcast. I thought I already had control of it, but that's fine. I got an email from a company called Verpler or something like that. Verpler.
Oh my god, it's Verpler.
Oh my god, Verpler. Let me look at it. Hold on. It's called... Supposedly a lot of people have getting emails from them saying that, VURBL. And it says, Ferris here from Verbler. We found your podcast on the Open Podcast Directory. Build your Verbler station. Waffletown. I know you're going to want to claim it and take control. Here's a few reasons why. Verbler is completely free and listeners can create. It's just some stupid shit to be like, give us your information.
Yeah.
Supposedly people are saying it's a legit website, but for one, I don't even do Waffletown anymore. Waffletown was Dan and Bones, and they fucked that because they didn't want to pay attention. They wanted to just fuck around. But, you know, I just wanted to do some kind of podcast. This is, instead of me fucking making a video every week and complaining about something, I just want to talk to somebody for a good couple of hours. For an hour.
I'm pulling them.
What?
Take a big dump on them.
I'm not gonna
dump out all your emotions on somebody else.
I'm dumping on you. I'm taking a big dump on you. Anyway. Our next podcast will be with Duck. I want to plan that out at least. We'll do more of these. I should really let you know when we're gonna do you and me, just you and me, so you and me have just stuff to bring up to each other. I had a couple stuff that I wanted to talk about, and then I kind of forgot about them. I think I still have a list on here. Hold on. Yes, I do. Oh, that was the one thing I wanted to talk about. I'm having fun with Half-Life Alyx. I'm gonna continue to play that shit because it's fun as fuck.
Make sure you don't hit your fan or whatever.
No, I turned it off this time. The problem is I get a sweaty face. There's so many fun things you can do in that though. Like I was trying. I found a bar of soap and I was trying to wash a dead head crab. Like I was sitting there rubbing it with soap and I'm like, oh, you're dirty. There was one more thing I wanted to talk to you about because I brought it up to you before, which was, what do you think that porn stars do now that they when they have to retire?
You think they stop having sex, or do they have more sex?
I think that I don't think they stop having sex. They can have sex whenever they want.
I mean, it's like work. Like I don't come home and answer the phone and work on the computer.
It just reminded me a joke of the one joke by Donald Glover, where he goes, listening to my music in the car, and they're like, isn't that a little bit selfish or something like that? And he goes, that's like being working at a Subway, coming home and trying to make yourself a sandwich, and they go, oh, you want to leave it at work here, buddy? You're back at home. You don't need to do this right now. Like that concept of if you did that kind of shit. My point was, I got off topic. My point was, is like people like, well, like I don't know if you know it or even look into it, because I find it interesting. I find it interesting where what happens to legends when they retire. You look at Sasha Gray, now a big Twitch streamer. I follow her on Twitch.
You've seen her butthole.
Yes, also that, but that comes with the territory. There is what was another one that was? There was one in that one documentary that I watched with what's her face. Again, I know what her name is. I'm just saying what's her face for legal reasons. Where I think it's Jenna Presley, where like she was doing it because she was addicted to drugs and shit, and then like she actually found God and stopped doing it and got married and everything, and now it's just like it's not good, and the Lord wouldn't want me to do that, and it's just like, what? What the fuck?
You literally sucked dick for crack. Maybe
she might have done that, but it's like, I don't know. I don't think sex is bad. I think sex should be openly talked about. It shouldn't be openly shown, but it's just one of those things where it's like it shouldn't be shameful to be attracted to somebody or have a type of kink. I don't think it's something you should shame people for.
Except if you like feet. In that case, you get the fuck out of here.
Or furries. But you don't go and like I don't ever like just send you guys porn and go, hey, check this shit out. Like that's just a little bit weird.
Yeah, this made me come so hard.
Yeah, that's some weird stuff. But like when it comes to stuff like just like shunning it in general, like being like, oh well, Jesus thinks that sex is bad or sex before marriage is bad. Just like, you shouldn't be shunned for that. It should be a completely normal thing.
Pretty sure Jesus fucked.
Yeah, Jesus fucked a bunch, bro. Sometimes didn't even touch the girl. So yeah, we're talking about Sasha Gray. Sasha Gray was one of them where she is making a career out of not being in porn anymore, and that's cool.
Do you think she would be as popular as she is if she had not done porn?
I don't know. It's difficult with her. With other people, I would say no. But I think with Sasha Gray, it was a concept of she went from porn to normal TV, or went from porn to normal movies to normal TV to just being a streamer. And her like ideals and the things she talks about is very thought provoking, and it's not like she has quite intelligent opinions on things. She's not just like, yeah, I fuck for money. She's just like, oh, I don't have any shame towards what I do, and I think it's very liberating to have that kind of industry or be in that industry, or it didn't seem like a to I guess compare to like Jenna Jameson, who's just like, yeah, I was fucking because I got touched as a teenager or something like that kind of shit. Whereas it wasn't just like I just started this way. It was just like she actually has very intelligent conversations about things like that. Like I said, the quote where it's porn is like McDonald's. Whether you like it or not, it's gonna stay around. Like it's gonna be there. You know what I mean? Like I think, huh?
Harvey Weinstein.
No, that's not anything of what I just said. My point was that what I was getting to was that Sasha Grey, I think, is an exception. I think she's fantastic. I say again, I think she's the rock of porn. Because she does everything, and I want to be inside her. So I was gonna say about the concept of like people like, I don't know if you know Bonnie Rotten. So she, in her situation, she stopped, I think, because she had a child. Which most of them do that, and that's cool or whatever. But I just think it's very weird because the point was that, and I talked to you about this, is that I found Eva Adams' YouTube channel. She unboxes shit. She reviews shit. She does all this shit. I think it's just very super weird to be like just doing a YouTube channel now as if you're like, yeah, that other well has run dry. I can't do that anymore. People in the industry think that I'm old, considering that I'm not that old. Or I guess that you don't want to keep doing it. Turns out she had a son in 2011. And he is now 10, and I guess it's just something she doesn't want to do anymore. Which is fine. It's cool. But, and it's not something you'd be like, you have to shun her for her past. It's just something it's just like, I find it very interesting that eventually they have to go back to normal life. It's just such a interesting concept to me. To be like, what do they do after that? It's just like wrestling. Like, what do they do after that? For a good while, Mick Foley was just dressing up as Santa Claus. I don't know why. But it's just like, that's, especially with wrestling, it's just like, if that's their dream, and then eventually they have to retire, it's just like baseball. It's just like, eventually that's your dream, and then eventually you're going to be like, well, I got to stop because I can't do it anymore. Like porn stars, their knees go out eventually.
Why all those NFL players shoot themselves.
Jesus Christ. Don't say that. Wait, what NFL players shoot themselves?
A bunch of them.
Jesus Christ. There is I don't know if you ever heard of the Von Erichs, the wrestling family.
Yeah, they just make a movie about that?
I just watched a documentary of the Dark Side of the Ring on them. My God, there's 5 of them. By the end, there's just one alive still now.
Yeah.
Like 3 of them kill themselves. 2 of them die of like weird situations. It's so fucking weird. No, like one of them tries to kill themselves, and then they fail at it, and then they end up just dying of like a disease. Like the one The one, oh my god, the youngest one like breaks his arm and is like, "Oh, my wrestling career's over," and then shoots himself in the head. And like the brother who's still around finds him and goes, "Oh, I thought he was choking on pills or something." And turns out I went to go pick up his head and I felt the hole in the back of his head. I'm like, "Oh god, your brother! You find your brother with a hole in his fucking head. That's just fucking disturbing." Oh my god, it's just like terrible. And his dad dies of brain cancer. Like, it's just terrible. Just like the worst. Like, people are like, "Oh, people think we're cursed." I'm like, I'm starting to think you are. Or you just have no will to live whatsoever. Like, the one broke his arm and said, "I guess I'm gonna die then." He literally did the meme, like, "I guess I'll just die," and puts his hands up like he's holding something. It's just fucking crazy. And the one is still alive, and I'm like, yeah, exactly. God damn it. That one, though, just fucking I guess I'll die. I have to, like, very much deeply edit this fucking podcast, you fucking asshole. Because normally I keep it on our little chat thing right there, where our two heads are. But now I gotta fucking look at every fucking GIF when you put one up. I don't know. Point is that I found Eva Adams' YouTube channel. There's one episode where she was unboxing Pops. Yeah, that's about it. I don't know what else to talk about. That we like the rest of the shit I have on here are like wrestling shit, but I want to talk about that with Kibbles. So
yeah,
there's plenty of shit we can still talk about. I want to talk about I mean, not tonight. I'm saying, like, we're gonna end this, but I'm saying, like, there's plenty of shit I can still talk about with wrestling. So yeah, it's because, like, there's one thing I want to talk to the Kibbles about, which was Tony Schiavone is the voice of, like, he was one of the announcers for WCW, and that's where I started. Like, for me, that was what I started on. But then I was like, that was the voice I heard when I think of wrestling, him and Bobby the Brain. But then I'm like thinking about it. I'm like, well, AEW has Tony Schiavone, but now AEW also has the voice of WWE as well, and it's kind of like WWE isn't really WWE anymore because they don't have Jim Ross. And I'm like, if you don't have JR, then like, what the fuck are you doing? I don't know. Anyway, is there anything else you want to talk about?
I think we're all right.
Yeah, all set.
I think so.
That's good.
I think I'm gonna watch the Monster Hunter movie after this because I haven't seen it yet.
I'm so sorry.
Have you seen it?
No.
It only had like a
T.I.'s in it.
56% be cut off.
So
is Mila Jovovich.
Yeah, but Mila Jovovich isn't a terrible person and an awful father. So I'd like to know what she
was.
I would like to know what she thinks of the new Resident Evil. Because she fucking carried that series, even when she should have just stopped. Did you know that, shit, who was it? I think it was the Mortal Kombat movies? I'm trying to think of which one. The guy who produced the Mortal...
ones?
Yeah, the guy who produced the Mortal Kombat movies, he left after the first one. And that's why the second one was shit. And so he said, he vowed to himself, I'm never going to leave a franchise I started ever again. He stuck with Resident Evil after that for all those movies. After fucking Mortal Kombat, he's like, I'm never going to leave a franchise to somebody else ever again. And then he went with Resident Evil, and he stuck with all of theirs. I like the Resident Evil trailer. It looks fucking fantastic. It looks like something that's going to be really good as far as a true adaptation to the video games. And doesn't number 1 and 2 happen at the same time?
No, I believe... No, 2 and 3 happen at the same time.
Oh, fuck me.
First it's 1, and then Jill goes back to Raccoon City, and then that's when 2 takes place. Raccoon.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Because Jill is running around at the same time as Leon and Claire.
Leon! I don't think you're right, but I'm gonna agree with you.
1,000 push-ups.
No, I'm not doing fucking Brooklyn Nine-Nine bet. I get it. I understand. You're right. Whatever. I don't give a shit enough to be like, yeah, fucking bet you. I just thought one. I know two of the games take place at the same time.
Yeah, it's 2 and 3.
Okay. So I thought the Alkali, the mansion and the city would made sense with like Leon and Claire being in the city while Chris goes with Jill and Westler to the mansion.
No, because the attacks only start in the woods around the mansion in the first one before
Yeah.
they get to the whole city.
So do you think that's going to be a flashback?
That's what I was wondering if they're gonna do it like cut back and forth between them, or if they're gonna split it up,
Which
have
would
the
be
first half be.
it would be confusing because Chris would be like, Jill, you're never right about this conspiracy theory. Umbrella isn't a bad group, but it's like, you've already been to the mansion, you dumb shit. You should already
Yeah.
know that. You should know that your sister is right, you dumb fuck. But I don't know. It's got to be a lot of. I don't know if they're going to jump around in time because it's like the fact that Claire and Chris are actually together. Isn't that the reason why Claire came to.
Yeah, she came to find Chris, but he was gone.
Yeah. Chris.
Grass.
That's
Well,
what I'm
I
saying.
think
Like.
from I think the last trailer, it almost seemed like it's gonna start in the city, and then they're gonna go to the mansion. That's how
Yeah, I
it
don't
kind
know.
of made it seem.
Which would be doing things in reverse, huh?
Yeah, first cowgirl.
Oh my god, why did you say that? We're done talking about porn stars.
I'm never done talking about porn stars.
Dude, I want so badly to do that game. Okay, so I've talked about it before on here, right? Or no? Have we not talked
I
about it
think
before?
you mentioned it. Yeah.
My game show has to be made. We have to do my game show cuz for one, listen. If I told you, AJ, that there is a wrestler 21 years old named Sky Blue, do you think that's a legit wrestler?
Yeah.
Yeah? Well, you'd be wrong. The whole thing is fabricated. No, it is a real person. I'm sorry. She is legitly a actual wrestler. Problem is, I tried to look her up on Google, and she came up as a pornography person.
I believe you.
So
I have to check this out for myself.
yeah, it was. Wait, which one? The porn star or the?
I'm just getting pictures of the sky.
Are you doing blue sky or are you doing sky blue?
Sky blue.
Okay, sky has an E at the end. Sorry, I did not say that.
Okay, you got to be more specific.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I was kind of shocked by the fact that she's 21, like just turned 21. I'm like, so you've been wrestling for a good while now to get into mainstream wrestling, and you just turned 21.
Oh, yeah, that's her looking at vagina. Okay.
That's not the right person then. Find
That's
the
a different
one.
one.
Find the girl with her hat backwards.
I did see that one, yeah. Does she have blue
The-
hair?
No.
Maybe that's a porn star then.
Maybe I'll just send you a picture of her. Probably be a little easier.
That one isn't it?
That is, yes. Well, I mean, if that's a general giveaway because there's AEW right next to her fucking her arm. It'd be very confused if it wasn't her. Yes, that's her. So yeah. And then I've been enjoying what's the other one? Forget it. We're gonna talk about it with Kibbles. So people who like wrestling want to hear that, then you have to wait and sign a petition for Kibbles to get on here as soon as possible. Although it depends on who gets on here first, whether it's Duck or Kibbles. One of them is going to be the two-time guest of the show. I'm sure eventually they'll be tied, but anyway, it's
Make a cummerbund.
You mean a belt? Well, that too. Did you know that Vince McMahon hates the word belts? He doesn't like the word belts. He uses the term titles.
Okay. Well, because they are not technically belts; they are cummerbunds.
Championship cummerbund.
Or belt, as normal people call it.
Well, he uses the word titles. Like a championship title. He doesn't use the word... Why do you say cummerbunds? It sounds like you're a British man.
There's another Brooklyn Nine-Nine reference.
I get it. I get it. I got it. I get it. Cheddar. All that. Get it. Yeah. I have a question.
Statement.
Involving Sky Blue.
The porn star or the wrestler?
The wrestler. Would it technically fall under me being a creeper if I thought she was cute?
I mean, she does look like she's 14, so...
She does, doesn't she? It's creepy.
I think didn't they talk about that on Funhouse with Ariana Grande?
Yeah, we've talked about it with Ariana Grande. We've talked about it before with Ariana Grande. I don't know. It's just that I don't know. I like cute girls.
Give her a couple of years, and then you can say it.
I'll be a couple years old, and then it's a fucking losing battle, AJ. I can't win. I can't win. And what if she blades herself? What if she cuts above her forehead, and then she looks gross at that point? She's got so many scars on the top of her forehead from cutting herself.
Like that she was gonna go black like Wesley Snipes.
Yes, is that what you think blading means?
Yeah.
No, it's a term when you cut yourself in a match.
She's gonna go fight a bunch of vampires in a warehouse.
With a trench coat and a buzz cut. Oh, that's weird. Anyway. Yeah, we'll talk more about wrestling with Kibbles. We'll talk
Resident wrestling expert.
Yes, he is our resident wrestling expert. He just went to AEW. They were just in Philly on Wednesday. Actually, I think their show just ended. What? No, he didn't. She wasn't on that show. I don't think. I don't know. CM Punk actually fought tonight. I forgot to watch it. Fuck. But it works so well. Again, listen, you keep getting me into talking about it. We're not going to talk about it. We're going to keep on doing Survive. So if people are watching Survive on the channel, we're going to keep on doing those. I have Survive Part 2. I don't know if Half-Life Alex will take precedence over other stuff because I'm having such a fun time. Fun fact, Tony Todd from Final Destination and Candyman is in it. I didn't know that. Did you know in Half-Life 2 and this game, Half-Life Alex, he does the Vorticons? Like, all the Vorticons. Like, all the guys with the one eyes in the front. You know what I'm talking about?
Okay, yeah.
He does all of those. All of them. Tony Todd. Black guy. Trying to think of what else he's in.
Final Destination, Candyman.
Yeah, and a bunch of stuff. He's Venom in the new Spider-Man 2 game. God, he's fucking great, dude. He's got a great voice. He's got a great fucking voice, Tony Todd. But yeah, it's gonna be good. Tomorrow we'll play Battlefield. Maybe that'll go up this week along with this episode. So if you're watching, that means Battlefield's coming up soon. Yeah, that's about it, I think. Do you have anything else to say?
No, I'm good.
Okay. We will see you guys next time, hopefully with a guest. If not, no, we'll definitely have a guest next time. Otherwise, we won't do it until we get a guest. Don't know who it will be. Maybe Duck. Maybe we can get Sky Blue. Maybe Eva Adams. Maybe
Yeah, Sky Blue and Sky Blue haven't talked to each other.
Oh shit! Fucking blowing my mind, bro. I was gonna say we get Eva Adams, Sky Blue, or maybe even Ernesto de la Cruz. That's it. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Say bye, AJ.
Bye, AJ.
As long as we're getting another Spider-Man movie, whether it's Tom Holland, you could fucking put Beetlejuice in it. I don't give a shit. And I don't mean Beetlejuice with Michael Keaton. I mean Beetlejuice from Howard Stern. You could just put whoever in there.
Isn't he dead?
Oh, I'm gonna be very upset. Hold on, you guys keep talking about this. Hold on.